These strange things are happening, and it's getting people to question reality. Millions of people across the world are experiencing these very strange symptoms, experiences, and reality literally glitching, and it's quite overwhelming. But if you pay attention to this message and the main talking points, in the upcoming days, we're going to see things that are going to be a lot to handle. But if you change your perspective of what this reality is, you're going to navigate these upcoming changes a lot easily than if you don't know about it. One of the main things that I've experienced and hearing others from the community sharing flashes of light in their vision. So you might be inside in your house, or even if you're walking out in nature, and you could see either a flash of white or blue light, or you could see shadows in your peripherals, really quick flashes of shadow of darkness. And this is the evidence of the veil, or the frequency veil, we'll call it, shifting and changing. Ringing in the ears has always been a thing, but you might be waking up from a nap and all of a sudden your ears are ringing like you were out in a club. It's not, from listening to loud music, the ears are naturally ringing. So if you are to start us off in this deep chat, if you're experiencing these flashes of light, maybe shadows in your peripherals, and an intense ringing, the community knows many people have been experiencing ringing in the ears for many years, but this is on a different level of ringing, okay? To understand the changes that are happening and to come to terms with what is going to happen, you have to realize that reality is not based on the mind. The reality you experience is created by your nervous system. I'm going to say it again because it's hard. It's hard to understand this the first time. The reality that you experience, we think it's created by the mind. Oh, it's in my mind. And that's why I've been sharing those that, if you're struggling and to rationalize these things, you can't get these things from the rational mind. So reality is not based in the mind. Reality is dictated by the nervous system. Physical bodily changes in the solar plexus. It's quite alarming, especially if maybe you eat a certain way, right? You have a level of hunger. Maybe you don't have an appetite in recent times. Does that resonate with you? There might be deep changes in the stomach, in your solar plexus. And this is known as your base energy center, mostly the solar plexus chakra. And in this base energy center in the physical body, okay, there was a lot of attachments to the corrupted system that a lot of us lived under. So there's an unraveling that's occurring in the body. And this detoxification process needs to take place. So in the modern world, people are trained to eat, all day long and never give their body a time to rest and achieve autophagy. So if you are experiencing very strange, and it's overwhelming even for me, even though I know this and I'm living through this, if you're going through these deep changes in the solar plexus, all of a sudden, you have no appetite. You have to eat different things. You're going to have to stay hydrated, okay? Staying hydrated is very important at this time. Heat or temperature not registering normally, okay? So maybe there's a temperature and it's, it could be pretty hot. It could be 90, right? Whatever it is, 90 degrees. But your body, it feels like it's even hotter. Or maybe you could, if you have the air conditioner running, okay, and it normally acts a certain way and it's cranking out, harder, even though the registered temperature, you always know what it's at 90, or you always know what it's at 85. So even though the numerical temperature reads a certain way, it actually feels to the body hotter even than you're normally accustomed to. Maybe you're noticing air conditioners, certain things that are affected differently. I even seen a reel. People were showing some of the asphalt melting and certain things literally melting. And some of you are sharing reels from literal things that you're experiencing on the ground. People in your everyday life are glitching. And we have to come to terms that not everyone is going where we're going. All right. So the reality is changing. And it is a frequency broadcast. So when we see, going back to previously in this lesson, you're seeing the flashes of light in the air. You're seeing these shadows in your peripherals, right? Not maybe like you see them on the side. So this hologram, this fractile reality, it's changing and going and experiencing a frequency shift. You know, the reality that you're tuned into, don't take it literal, but like say you're changing the station on a TV and you see different things. So this has been happening in a post 2012 world. If you're new to the channel, I have a full video on all the changes happening post 2012. Maybe you're tuned into this message today and you could say to yourself, yeah, you know what? I noticed that the sun changed. You know, years ago, the sun was more yellowish, right? And it still is, you know, when you get your sunrise and sunset, but now it looks white with like an indigo halo around it, right? Did you notice a change in the sun? Comment that down below. So this reality, you know, the driving force is the energy of the sun. And as we are going through a lot of the solar activities, flashes, flares, the Schumann resonance spikes, they're affecting our physical body and the frequency, right? The micro and the macro, all right? So we are living in this realm. We are broadcasting and receiving a frequency, okay? And Tesla said that electromagnetism was more of a driving force in this universe than the mainstream led to believe. Do you resonate with Nikola Tesla? So this all traces back when you are, strange things are happening in your life. The people that aren't coming with you on this journey to the next stage, they're glitching out. A lot of this goes down into the nervous system. So when you think about your stomach, you have a lot of nerves, nerve endings. And that nervous system, that is literally that electromagnetic broadcast of the reality, that's actually controlling it. So if your nervous system is wired to fight or flight, if your nervous system is the whole world's out to get you, negativity in the world, but if you're tuned in to a frequency where you say to yourself, yeah, you know what, the world is getting better, there's better changes that are happening in the world, that is that internal subconscious broadcast, right? I discussed the subconscious. So if you are new to these concepts, 95% of your reality is dictated by the subconscious, not the conscious. And that's running in the background. There's a story that you tell yourself what's your role in the world and what is this world. In recent events, you might see false idols or corrupted people on the TV. We saw one the other day, right? So now all of a sudden, right? And my friends say, how do these people not see this? You know what? Like a lot of people are seeing these false idols on the TV, right? And they're asking them all the questions. Maybe you saw it, they look like clowns. And people ask me, how come no one saw this and now they're seeing it? Well, people didn't see this back in, say, 2020 or 2021. It got very intense, if you remember this, because in their reticular activating system, or RAS in the brain, there was a lot of fear and everyone was focused. And you get into fight or flight and the blood goes away from that deep thinking that you have in the brain to that fight or flight. And everyone was in panic mode. So you're not processing correctly. Now the world is a lot quieter. Isn't it so quiet? Is it nice and quiet out here tonight? It's beautiful, right? So when the world is quieter, all of a sudden, now you could say, oh, now I could see clearly. Because now you're using the part of the brain right? And your nervous system is not wired to threat, right? It's wired to rest and digest, not alert, alert, alert. In the modern world, our nervous system, this is just in our nature. Years ago, if there was an animal trying to eat you, right, you have to get up and go. But now you got stress from the boss, from stuff you see on the TV, from narcissistic people, things that are running in the background. The things that are running in the background deter your overall health, and that comes to your nervous system. So we're going through bodily changes. We are being given signals from the sun, okay, those that are tracking the solar activity and the Schumann resonance. As these activities increase, these are giving our body signals for change, right? You could see this and like just observe nature. I tell a lot of people, observe nature. You ever see a plant growing towards the light? Here, we're going towards the light. It knows where to go. All of a sudden, spring comes. All of a sudden, the ants, they start popping, anthills start coming. The light is penetrating through the solid earth. All right, so there are signals in the reality. And these signals, they're telling us, those that are in tune with the spiritual journey, they hear about light codes. So these codes are being received by our DNA receptors. You see, 93% of the function of DNA is responsible for light and sound reception and transmission. So, I'm spinning out a lot of information. I'm so grateful for, a lot of people that are finding us in the last few days. But this information, when you think differently about this, when you're in commune with nature, when you're out in the sun and not running away from it on a daily basis, I'm out in the sun, right? I'm in the salt water. I'm grounding barefoot, and that's the Schumann resonance, right? A lot of people are disconnected from nature. And, even though it seems like it's a very, very rough time and you're seeing these very strange things happen, maybe you are seeing the flashes of light, the ringing in the ears, the very intense sensation in your solar plexus, and even in your lower back. Remember, your lower back, if all of a sudden you say, I have all this tightness in the lower back, or you feel like your spine or your hips are shifting, well, your lower back represents your support. And in life, a lot of people didn't feel supported by systems that were supposed to serve the people, right? So anyone that is feeling this, and you might feel a release, or you might feel like, you had a little, tightness in the hips, where a lot of shame, right? A lot of people were shamed for their views. Remember, in 2021, it's time to release. It's time to speak your truth. Right? Maybe you were not, you were gaslit because, you didn't go along with the mainstream narrative. So all these things are changing right now. When you realize that the mind, your brain is not creating your reality, your nervous system is, and the subconscious programs that reside, that's giving your nervous system the signals, then you're going to understand all these crazy things. There are so many strange things happening. So let me know in the comments, are you experiencing any of these symptoms? Do you feel like a little bit lighter in the body? Has your palate changed? Which means, are you called to eat different types of foods at this time? Are you eating lighter? Are you staying extra hydrated? We want to stay hydrated, and really, rest and digest is where we are actually creating our reality from. Because if you are in that fight or flight, everything has to represent it in the outer world, okay? And this is quantum shifting. If you're new to the channel, I'm Michael. I discuss ascension, psychology, and quantum shifting. And the whole collective is quantum shifting right now. So this is a very important message. Maybe you're new to this stuff, and I hope I articulated this for the everyday life people, because that's who's inheriting the earth. It's we the people, all right? And I love each and every one of you. Navigate the time period. Don't be scared, and check out some of the relevant, related videos that pop up on the screen and in the pinned comment. And remember that you are actually the creator of your reality. And when you come to terms that there are multiple realities out there and you could tune your broadcast in. And if you have any questions about it, I share my real life evidence in some of the previous videos on the channel page. So it's a little bit overwhelming. People might glitch out of your life. Your body might change and you might actually see things in the ether. Tesla called this the ether. You might see little flashes of light and shadows, but don't be alarmed. I know these things are very strange, but we're shifting to a different reality, a new timeline, if you will. I appreciate each and every one of you. I am the defender of our everyday lives. No matter what comes your way, Light Warriors, just keep going.